Hello, Ali here with another SketchUp lesson for you guys. In today's lesson, we're going to see how we can model this interior space with these curved section stairs. And as you can see, we have a curved section or curved plan view for the stairs. And also, we have a curved section for the stairs, as you can see over here. And we're going to see how we can model these types of spaces. So I will start by drawing a rectangle over here. So I press R for the rectangle command and click once and then type 7, 10. And then as you can see, we have 10 over here and 7 over here, and we could use a vertex tool to scale these two dots for like 4 times of this scale, or we can just move. If we have 7 over here, we should multiply the 7 by 4, so we will have 28. And in order to have this 28, we need to subtract 7 from the 28, so we have 21, and we will have to divide it by 2 so we can move a half over here and then a half from here. So we can say like 10.5 over here, and then from here 10.5, and then I double click on this face and then group it once, and then I use the Bezier Spline plugin or Bezier toolbar, and we have this classic Bezier curve. So I click once over here and then second point over here, and then we will click the third point over here and the fourth point. We will double click on the end point over here. So we will have 108 segments for this one. I type 108S and then press the enter key. And as you can see, if I right click and see the entity info, we can see that it's 108 segments over here. So why do we use 108? Because we want to have stairs. We want to have these curved section stairs, and for each 3 segments of this 108 segments of this curve, we will have a stair. So for example, if we want to see like 108 divided by 3, we can see that it's 36 steps for this stair. So I close this calculator and I click on this curve once and then group it, Control G. So you can also define this from here, Window, Preferences, and then here Shortcuts, and then search for Group, and then Make Group. You can just assign Control G for it. And I press Control C and then press Control Alt V for paste in place. You can see it over here, Edit, and paste in place. We have it over here. I defined the Control Alt V to have it easier on my keyboard as a shortcut. So I will scale this down for like 0.7 here, and I will scale it from here like 0.8 and scale it from here 0.9, and we will copy this one again, copy, and then Control Alt V to paste it in place, and we will scale this by holding Shift key on keyboard and clicking and typing 1.7 for this one, and then we will also scale it down from here for 1.12, and then we will go inside this group and then press the A for the Art command and click 1 at this endpoint and 1 at this endpoint, and then we will go up and we will type 60 S for 60 segments for this one, and we will click here to make this one, these two curves as a face. And also we will offset this curve for like 7 meters, and we will create an arc as a tangent at vertex, and we will double click over here, so this will create as you could see, it had a purple color for it, and it did create a tangent curve for this curve that we had. So I will click on this face over here and then delete this one, and then go outside the group and press Shift F3 for the top view, and click or draw a line over here, a vertical line, and we'll go inside the group again and create a circle over here. So I will create a circle with 128 segments, and we will have like 2.7 for the radius, and I will scale this up by holding the control key, and I will scale it as this much, and I will delete this face over here, and we can erase the line that we drew earlier, and we can just select these two arcs and use the Curviloft plugin, and we use the Loft by Spline, and we click on it, and we can see the segments over here. It's 5s, and we could just make it lower to 1, and we will place this plugins over here again. We'll dock it over here, and we could just press enter to create this face. So we will go inside this group and just click on this face, and we will right click and click reverse face, or you could just assign Alt R for as a shortcut on your keyboard. And if I press the H key for hidden geometry, or if I come here, view and hidden geometry, we can see that we have these divided lines for this face. So if we want to select like one over here, and then two steps not selecting, and then a step selection, we could do this by using this For You Select plugin, as you can see over here, as For You Select, and it's a free plugin, you can use it, and we would click on this select step faces, or you could just assign a shortcut for it. I've assigned Alt and space for this one, and we would let it be like 2, and then 2 for horizontal step and 2 for the vertical step, and then we press OK. So this will select these lines or these faces. And why do we do this? Because we want to delete these lines, so we would have a larger space or larger step for the stairs. So I will deselect these edge lines, and we will have all these lines that are crossing this stair to be deleted. So we will use the selection toys plugin. So we use the edges over here, so it will select all these edges, and then we press the delete key on our keyboard, so it will delete all those lines. Or we could just use the eraser tool and just would be like very careful to not delete the correct lines. So we needed to delete 2 lines, and then leave leave 1 to be, and then delete 2, and then as it continues to delete all these lines to have this correct stairs. So I will dock this one selection toys again over here, and we will I will triple click on this face, and I will use S4U Stairs, which is a plugin that costs for about $20 or $25. So you can purchase this one. I believe this plugin is a must for architects, because it has never been easier to draw stairs, 3D stairs in SketchUp with this great plugin from SU4U. And by pressing this icon over here, make stairs, we will have a stair, and by pressing tab, we will just reverse the direction of this stair. And I right click over here and click on make stair slab, and I type 0.4 E for the slab of this stair, and I will type 5.55 for the height of this stair, and then press enter key to create this stair. I will dock this S4U stair plugin back in again, so it will not be docked over here. We can just leave it here or here maybe. Okay, so I press the H key on keyboard to disable the hidden geometry, and I will go inside this stairs in the group of the stairs that it created, this For You Stairs plugin that created. So I will double click over here and then deselect this line and the face below this one, and also the line over here. Or we can do something else to have these lines get down to be aligned to this curved section of this stair. So I will draw lines, one over here and then another one over here, and we will just move this one here and then move this one here, and also we will move this one here, and also the last line over here. So we will select all these lines, and from the entity info we can just select click on soft and smooth to have it as like this. And I will double click on this surface over here and deselect these lines and this surface over here, and I will use Curvizard plugin to make it as a curve or weld these separated lines together. So I will click once and then click here for confirming it. And then as you can see, when I click on this curve, it's a welded curve over here. So I will select both of these curves and then move this one for about 0.4, and I will deselect this one and then select this one again, and bringing it down for about 0.8 meters. And I will use again this classic Bezier curve, and then click once in the midpoint of this line, and then in the midpoint of this line I will click once over here and then double click to confirm this curve. So I will type 60s to have like 60 segments for this curve, and I will click this curve and then copy it over here, and then another one over here. And by doing so, we can see that we have two reference points, so we can use the classic Bezier curve again and click here and here again once, and we will click here and double click to confirm this curve, and we will type 60s for 60 segments. And I will double click on this surface over here and then press the delete key to delete this surface below the stairs. And then I will delete these lines, these extra lines. So we have two rails and then we have two sections. So we would need a Curviloft, this one, skin contour, so we could create, or we could skin this surface below. So I would select all these 4 curves and then click on this once and then click on the white space to confirm this curve. So as you can see, this created this surface very smooth and very precise curve. So I will double click to go in this group and then click once on this surface and then right click and click on reverse faces and then go outside this group, or we can just click once over here and then right click or explode, or you could assign Shift X for the explode command. And we can go again inside of this group and select this curve and also or this surface and also this surface over here. We have 3 surfaces, so we would select all these 3 and then Control C to copy it. And we could go inside and delete these lines and then go outside and then clicking Control Alt V, pressing Control Alt V, and we would have these faces again outside the stair group. So I will delete this line and we would have this surface over here. So I will press T for the tape measure tool command, and I will double click over here to have a guideline over here. So I will move this one to about here, or we could look at it from the top view. To here, and we could also do so I will move the top line to be aligned at this level of this surface over here, and I will use tape measure tool once again to double click over here to have a guideline over here, and I will triple click on this curve and I will copy it once again to about here, and we will use the loft by Spline and click here once and click, and I will select the grouped surface or the created surface, the lofted surface, and these 2 end surfaces, and then group these all together and then go inside the group or edit group, and I press Ctrl A and then Ctrl Shift X for exploding this group, and then we will orient the faces and right click soften smooth edges, and also we will do so over here. I will reverse this one and then we will click over here and we will have this one and this one to be lofted, and then we will have like one as a segment and then press the enter key and then right click soften smooth edges. We will double click over here and then triple click over there, and we will group this one again and click on this one and Shift X for exploding this curve. So right now we have this stair and we have 2 sections to be joined with each floor levels. So I will copy this one on the blue direction for 5.55 meters, and I will double click this one and push pull this one down for 0.3, and also we will push pull this one once again to have it below this stair, and I will scale this one to about over here and this one also. So we needed to have an extra line over here, so we need to press the P for push pull and then press Control to create another line inside. So I click once here and we will take it to here, and we can use the solid inspector to fix this solid. So by pressing the control key, we would have a face, an extra face inside. So we can fix this by pressing Alt S, or I've assigned Alt S for solid inspector. You can do that also. And I will go inside this group and select these two curves, and by holding Control Shift, I will scale this up to here, and I will select this curve again and scale it up to here, and I will select these two curves and scale it down to about this. So I will copy this one up, and I will right click soften smooth edges, and then I will go inside this group, select this face as you can see, and I will scale this one by holding the control key to about 1.3, and then scaling this line also to 1.2, and then I will copy this one from this point to this point up, and I will select this face again and scale this one to about 1.3, and also these two curves for about 1.2. And now we have all our floors created, so we need to copy these. So we need to copy these stairs in the other levels also. So I will copy this one once over here, and then pressing X2 to copy it once again. And then I will delete these faces that we had, and we'll go outside the group and click on this once, and click on this once, and click this floor, and we would use solid tools to union these volumes, and also another one over here, and also the last one over here. So now you can see that we have the steps ready. So we would use the rail. We now need to model the railings. So we could go inside this group and then click on this curve and then press Ctrl C, and then go outside this group and press Ctrl Alt V to paste in place. And then we could use like vertex tool. It's a very handful plugin, but you could also use Curviloft to create this thing that we're going to create. So I will copy this one down to about over here, and we will select these two curves and press the Curviloft, Loft by Spline, and then segments to 1, then click to confirm this curve, and we'll go inside, and we will triple click on this surface and right click and click on intersect faces with model, and then we will click on this surface and we will group this one, and I will press Ctrl H for hide rest of model, and I will press Ctrl A to select all and deselect the curve that we just grouped, and we will press delete to delete all these other curves. And then we can go inside and we would assign a material as a glass or grayish glass to this one, and then we could do the same with this one. We could just select this curve and then press the Ctrl C, and then we would just press Ctrl Alt V to paste it in place, and we would just copy this one down in the blue direction to over here, or we could just go a little bit down to here, select these two curves, and then click on the loft by spline, and then confirm this curve. And then we will go inside this group and then right click on this surface and then intersect faces with model, and then I click on this surface and then group it once, and then press Ctrl H for hide rest of model, and then I would press Ctrl A and deselect this surface, and I will delete the rest of these curves. So I will also assign a glass material to this one, and we will see that we have the glass railings over here. It's very easy to create these railings. So the S4U plugin would make the railings for you, the curves for you, so the rest is up to you. So you want to make like a loft along this path, or a follow me with a circle section, or you could use it like this to create a surface from these curves. And I would copy this one here and also here, and we would go inside this group and click on this curve and offset it once over here. And also we could copy this one to 0.9, and we would create a loft over here, and then we would assign a glass material to this one also. And also we could right click and then soften smooth edges and then bring it down to have these lines as the frames of these railings. So I will select also this one and also these other curves, or we could just offset this one for 10 centimeters and also offset these ones for 10 centimeters, and then triple click on this one and then click on this one and then bringing it up to about 0.9. to here. We could loft this one first and then loft the other one, segments 1, and then we will go inside and right click, soften smooth edges. We would assign a glass material, soften smooth edges, and we would copy these or cut these surfaces or these railings, and then delete the other curves over here. And then we would go outside these groups and then press Ctrl Alt V to paste them in place, and then we would copy these curves up once, and then by pressing X2 we would copy this once again over here. So now we can see that this space has been modeled, and we could continue by creating like some columns, and this is also an easy way to do. We could use like the profile builder to do so, profile builder version 2 or 3, to create a path and then copy a long path, or we could use the JSS power bar to do so. We could create a path and then we could just copy these components of these columns to create some columns around these spaces. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.